swirled about the franchise cornerstones Steph Curry and Monte Ellis in the team's annual search to bulk up in the front court. Ellis says he's staying put.
Monte, do you still consider this your team?
It's your Lacob team.
And alongside now in studio is Warrior owner Joe Lacob. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dennis.
Now, you've owned this team a little over a year now. You've laid the strong foundation, as we just pointed out. The tricky part comes when you try and convince players of potential. When I talk about players, I mean guys with the track record, big-time free agents, who you have to try and convince to come here. That's the difficult part now.
Well, it is. I mean, the team hasn't had the greatest amount of success in the last 2 decades. And players want to go to winners. They want to be winners. And so that's an image we have to overcome over the years. I think people in the NBA know that we've made a lot of progress. We've added a lot. We've changed the culture. I think people know that. But the players maybe not quite as much. So we still have some selling we have to do to bring them here.
How close did Tyson Chandler come to becoming a Warrior? Did you have the conversation with him? Why isn't he a Warrior?
Well, I didn't speak to him personally. However, our staff, you know, Bob Myers and Larry and those guys did, and we were very, very close, we believe. And in fact, so close, it really could taste it. As of Tuesday night of last week, I think we thought very much like we had him. He had told us we were #1 on the list and that Dallas was out of it, and we were really ready to get him. Unfortunately, New York came in at the last minute, and these things happen. New York's a big attraction, and the idea of playing with some other players there that he wanted to play with, I guess, and I don't know the reasons, but he did go the other way.
Okay, so you went the other way. You guys focused on DeAndre Jordan, 23 years old, a young center, splitting time down there with Blake Griffin, the understudy, I guess you could call him. And you guys today made an offer sheet. You won't tell me the money. The rumor is 4 years, 43. Am I close?
Might be.
Okay, what does this player bring to the Warriors?
Well, I will tell you that we've done 6 months of work getting ready for this, and we knew we needed a big man, and we needed a defensive presence in the middle. Very, very important. Tyson Chandler and DeAndre Jordan were our 2 guys all the way. Tyson had the advantage a little bit because he's a little more mature. He'd been around. He'd been on a championship team this last year. We were surprised to hear that Dallas might not go for him at the end, and so we went that way. But DeAndre was very much in the running the whole time. He's younger. He's very athletic, maybe the most athletic big man in the league, arguably. And we're very excited to have the potential to sign him, and we have signed him to an offer sheet, but very potential to get him with us on the team would be fantastic.
So Blake owns the paint down in Southern California. We know that, but this guy plays 25 minutes a game, so he's an instrumental part of that team. They have the right to match the offer sheet. Do you expect that they will?
We don't know. I mean, honestly, I think it's a coin toss at this point. Who knows what they're going to do? We can only do what we're going to do, and we know what he's worth to us, and we went ahead and offered that. If they match, and we'll move on to the next target.
The Pacific Division, did you agree with the commissioner's decision to veto the trade of Chris Paul to L.A.? I would think, as a guy in the Pacific Division, you don't want the Lakers any better than they are, but from philosophically speaking, was that a good decision?
You know, I try not to make judgments on these things. I know some people do. I really think that, you know, there are people that think that was the owners, small market teams that were complaining.
Yes.
I don't really think that was the case. I think what you need to understand is that New Orleans is owned by the league. And so someone has to act as the owner, has to make the final call. And in this case, that's really David Stern and the league.
But Chris Paul's going to be a free agent after next season anyway. Wouldn't it have made sense for them to get something in return, at least now? He's not going to stay there.
Well, they may. It's not over. I just think they felt it wasn't the best deal for that team.
Okay. It was reported that Chris Paul would not commit to a contract extension if he were dealt to the Warriors. Is that true?
I can't really say for sure. I don't know if that's in fact. I mean, we certainly have indications that that's the case.
And that's the bridge you gotta climb, or you gotta cross, right? Well, you have to convince somebody of that stature to come here and buy into what you're selling.
Yeah. It would not bother us, frankly, if we, as long as we had a chance with a guy, him or whoever. As long as we had a chance to sell them on what we are and the culture change and all the opportunity here and the fans and everything we're doing, I'm pretty convinced people will want to stay. So I don't really think that's the major issue, but it's an element.
Okay, that brings me into the possible relocation. And I'm wondering, a part of this, I mean, San Francisco, and I'm not, I mean, no offense to Oakland, but a downtown arena in San Francisco, would that be a possible bigger lure than Oakland would for players and also in terms of, marketing the franchise commercially?
Well, I think it's a good question. Look, we consider ourselves the Bay Area team. I've said this over and over and over again, and whether it be San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, whatever order you want to put it in, we happen to play in Oakland, and we have for 40 years. We used to play in San Francisco, and I think we have fans all over the place. In fact, 50% of them come from this side of the Bay and 50% from the other side of the Bay. So I think it would be a great place to play. Clearly, what the Giants have done at AT&T Park and in that area makes for a tremendous opportunity to put an arena down there. And we're going to look at that. The mayor came to us and said, we'd like to do that, like to help. We're going to listen. Would we also stay in Oakland if Oakland would help us out with getting a new arena? Yes, we would consider that as well. And I've told the mayor, I've actually met with Mayor Kwan 4 times.
Yeah.
So she's interested in doing that. I just don't know. Right now, we're at the earliest stages. Right. We're going to evaluate all this and see.
Okay, we'll say goodbye. If you strike out on Chandler, which you already have, and DeAndre Jordan signs with Clippers, you're looking at a lot of the same faces that we saw last year with the Warriors. Talk to the Warrior audience. Tell them why they should be more optimistic than they were a year ago.
This team is a lot different team than it was last year. We have 3 rookies that we have brought on that we are very, very high on. And in fact, do a little homework. You'll hear what happened over the summer, people playing with each other. Everyone you talk to is very interested in 2 or 3 of those rookies. They think they're really outstanding talents.
We were downstairs in the sports office, and you said one might be Rookie of the Year.
I think it's possible. I really do. I think Klay Thompson is just an extraordinary. Our coaches are excited about him. They're excited about Jenkins. They're excited about Tyler. So that alone, they're rookies, but they're going to help. We also had a lot of players on the team last year that are not with us anymore that, what do you want to call it, deadwood? I mean, whatever you want to say. They didn't help. And everybody knew we didn't have a great bench last year. So I think we're better.
Well, I think everybody's impressed with the foundation you've laid. I think they're excited about the future of the Warriors. The key will be to get that one guy that puts you over and starts winning basketball games to convince everybody else to come. Joe, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Appreciate it very much. And if the Warriors want to get kind of a little sneak preview of what they're going to be like, the Warriors